It is said that in ancient days the whole earth had only one language and were of one speech. Before that changed, some of mankind joined together to build a city and a tower to reach the heavens. God took notice of the tower and the men building it, and knew their intentions were not good. He said, "Look, the people are one, and they all have one language. And this is what they begin to do? And now nothing which they consider to do will be impossible for them." Paraphrasing Genesis 11. The Bible isn't devoid of allegory, and one undeniable truth is the evolution of language, even within our lifetimes. For instance, if I were to ask my husband to expel a trespassing villain from our home, my children wouldn't describe it as throwing them out. Instead, they'd say, "Dad just yeeted that guy out the door." This linguistic shift or corruption over time is indisputable. Another clue we glean from Genesis is that comprehension of language grants the power to manifest our desires. We have discovered this as well and will unveil the aspects towards the end of the video. But we must first inquire, what was the language they had? Are there any clues left for us to uncover? Well, one aspect we should scrutinize more closely is the ongoing corruption of our language. It's still changing. This might lead us to consider that the language didn't corrupt all at once, but has been undergoing changes over time. Therefore, if we trace our way back as close to the origins as possible, we may gather more clues about what the original language was. Examining this graphic from the Armstrong Institute of Biblical Archaeology reveals the fascinating evolution of our language. Take A, for instance, which in its earlier form resembled a horned animal. The three forks on E were once a head with raised arms, as more clearly seen in the earliest representation. Another example is M, still bearing strong similarities, yet in its earliest form it depicted waves of water. This compelling evidence supports the assertion that the earliest forms of language were more than mere symbols. They were hieroglyphic, artistic expressions embodying tangible concepts. Linguists and archaeologists may encounter obstacles until additional ancient writings or artifacts surface. Consequently, a shift to a different scientific approach becomes necessary, namely polymath, the concept commonly expected of college graduates in the United States. This entails graduating with not only a major but also a minor degree, fostering a diverse and well-rounded education. Applying polymath in practical scenarios is exemplified by a hairdresser undergoing training in communication and enhancing their people skills. Undoubtedly, these additional skills would elevate their business opportunities. While this scenario has found broad application in scholarly circles, there are instances where its reach is limited. Some modalities carry stigmas, deterring exploration into subjects favored by right-brained audiences, or those feared due to religious implications. Case in point, astrology, with its modern-day glyphs bearing a striking resemblance to these early language forms and the actual star constellations they represent, challenges the outright dismissal of them. Let's explore a few examples. Koph represented a hand in a cup-like shape, reminiscent of Libra's scales of balance. In astrotheology, Libra marks the sun's descent below the equinoctial line, and a hand in a cup mirrors this concept. Mem is straightforward, a depiction of waves of water. Pe in early Hebrew resembles lips and represented the word mouth. In astrology, it corresponds to Gemini, ruling over speech, duality, and communication. Lam in early Hebrew closely resembles the Pisces constellation in shape and angle. Nun, symbolizing the seed, was occasionally depicted as a serpent. Examining the Leo constellation closely, disregarding lower stars, aligns with the upper shape of the Hebrew glyph. Sod is unmistakable, all resembling archers or arrowheads. For in-depth insights, explore our extensive findings in the book titled The Ancient Cosmic Language, available on Amazon.com. While proving the very earliest form of human penmanship may elude us, compelling evidence suggests that early languages were rooted in star constellations, and the concept they embodied remarkably enduring, as the stars themselves remain perfectly intact, untouchable by humanity. This provides us with a model of the pure form of language at its foundational core, The subsequent step involves unraveling its intricacies. While we've diligently gleaned insights from ancient sources in an attempt to comprehend the cosmic language, the passage of time makes it a near impossible endeavor alone. So simultaneously, we've embraced modern observations of the cosmos, and we're eager to share our findings and how this language empowers us when we comprehend it. In our exploration of the ancient language, every zodiac constellation finds its place. This is expected, as the zodiac consists of 12 easily visible constellations worldwide. Therefore, examining the zodiac unveils its power. Fundamentally, the zodiac concepts are beautifully arranged across the sky. Each sign pairs with its opposite archetype on the opposite side of the sky. For instance, Aries, the god of war, is opposite Libra, the scales of harmony and peace. Cancer, representing the mother, aligns opposite to Capricorn, symbolizing the father, and so forth. Now imagine yourself on Earth at the center, caught between two opposing energies. Both crave fulfillment. Both demand attention. Consider this example to better illustrate the concept. As a parent, your child insists on an immediate treat, demanding, "I want it now!" You face a decision. You can swiftly embrace the Libra banner of peace, yielding to the child to restore balance on this side. "Okay, please stop. I'll give you the treat." The child pauses momentarily, learning that this approach is effective. However, by serving Libra hastily, Aries, the god of war, awaits its turn for satisfaction. In time, that energy will return, potentially growing into a more challenging dynamic because of the choice for a fleeting Libra solution, and often it will manifest in your child more and more, who you have dealt with in that way. Furthermore, Libra is considered the companion of the zodiac. Yet, just yearning for a partner doesn't attract one. It's more powerful to go to the opposite end and serve the opposite. You could call it getting the enemy out of your way. Aries is also a symbol of the I am, or the self. It's much more powerful to work on yourself and become more to offer a companion, rather than being needy and relentlessly pursuing those you seek. Consider Leo, the embodiment of romance and passion. Its opposite, Aquarius, representing humanitarianism and what's appropriate. Acts of chivalry, like opening a door, serve the pursuit of romance through service to others, which merely uses the opposite theme. Take Taurus, associated with possessions and money. If lacking funds, you must serve Scorpio, symbolizing what belongs to others, may involve obtaining a loan, a move towards the opposite archetype. We could give countless examples to emphasize these profound truths. Yet certainly mastering this language enhances our capabilities and aids us in achieving our goals, as stated in Genesis. And now, nothing which they consider to do will be impossible for them.